Hello, welcome to another video in the GUACademy video series. I'm Jeff Mendoza, a software engineer at Kusari, and today we'll take a look at getting GUAC up and running. So I have pulled up here the GUAC docs with the setup, and it shows here a Docker Compose setup. It also shows a Kubernetes link here to a Helm chart. And so those are the two main options that you have to get GUAC set up today. So you might ask, why do I need Compose or a Helm chart to set up GUAC? Well, that's because GUAC consists of multiple components. So I'm going to take a look over here on the documentation page about the GUAC components. And I'm not going to go through all of it in this video. We'll do another one with a deep dive on the architecture and what each component does. But just to give a high-level overview, there are multiple pieces that make up GUAC. So there is a database, potentially, there is a GraphQL layer, and then there's a whole slew of ingester pieces that, that form the pipeline to get data into GUAC, along with collectors and certifiers that go out and search for data on those public services and pull that information in. So when it comes down to it, there's a number of binaries, a number of processes that need to be launched to get GUAC up and running. So prerequisites, in this video we're going to cover the Docker Compose setup. Prerequisites for that is mostly just Docker Compose. So here I can see I have Docker installed and Docker Compose installed. So that's all ready to go. So to get started, I'm going to go over to the GUAC GitHub repository, look at the latest release. And then if we scroll down past the changelog, we'll see that there is a tarball called GUAC Compose with the version of the release. So I'm going to go ahead and download that. Switch over to the terminal. Untar that, and you can see the files that are needed for the Docker Compose setup. So after that, it's just as simple as Docker Compose up to get it up and running. Jumping ahead, the Docker Compose deployment is fully up and running, so we're ready to start using GUAC and see and to make sure that everything's up and working correctly. To interact with GUAC, you want to use one of the binaries. The main one is the GUAC1 binary. So head back over to that GitHub release and look for GUAC1, and then look for the operating system and architecture that you have for your host system, or your system where you'll be running those command lines from. So this one is Linux AMD 64. So I'll go ahead and download that. All right, I'm going to get a new tab. So here I will now put that binary I just downloaded into my path. I already have a bin directory in my path, so I'll just copy it over there. And I'll just rename it to GUAC1. And make sure it's executable. So now I'll just check that it's available to be run, and there it is. So the first thing I'll do to make sure GUAC's working is ingest some SBOMs or some documents. I have the GUAC data test SBOM repository cloned locally, but you can use any kind of SBOM that you have. So I'll just go ahead and ingest the SBOMs in this SPDX directory. That all seems to be running. While that runs, I'm going to switch over to my browser and see if the GraphQL Playground is up and running. And it is. And now I have some queries that I want to run just to see that that data is there. Let me paste those over here in the left side. So the first one here is just a package query to make sure that I have ingested some packages. And sure enough, there's a lot of packages here. You can also make sure that some artifacts were ingested as well. And the last query I have here is to make sure that all of those extra pieces around GUAC are working. One of those is the OSV certifier, which goes out to the OSV service and pulls in vulnerability information. So I'm going to run this certify vuln query to make sure that I'm seeing some vulnerabilities, because I know that some of the packages in the SBOMs I ingested have vulnerabilities. And here I can see that there's some vulnerabilities found. Here's the OSV IDs, the packages that they apply to, and the time scanned, and who the scanner is. So that goes ahead and lets me know that everything's up and running normally. Can go over here and see any messages from the different GUAC components as they're run. And I'm ready to go ahead and start ingesting SBOMs that I care about and looking into the data and trying to find those insights that are interesting to me. Thanks for joining me, and stay tuned to the Xara YouTube channel for more videos and more editions of GUACademy. Go ahead and subscribe if you'd like notifications. Thanks.